Hey, it's Adrian. Today I'm taking a look at this RK84 keyboard from Royal Kludge, or is it Royal Kludge? Let me know in the comments down below. But this is the version with their RK yellow switches. So I've heard a lot about this brand, but I've never used any of their mechanical keyboards. Now, this was sent out to me for review, but I'm going to give you my uninfluenced thoughts on it, so let's get into it. In the package, we have the keyboard, user manual, some spare switches, we have magnetic keyboard feet, a USB Type-C to Type-A cable, and a keycap puller. I did forget to mention that this is a limited run edition, so I have it in the Macchiato white, but there is also an Americano black version. But let's take a closer look at the keyboard. So you can see we do have the Royal Kludge logo at the bottom there, and if I flip it over, we do have a switch here, and that's to put it either in Bluetooth mode or the wireless mode, and then we also have an on and off button there. Now, we do have the wireless USB adapter for using the 2.4 wireless gigahertz connection. And those two feet that I had earlier, the magnetic feet, they would just snap right onto here, so you can see that it's only two levels of adjustment, either with the feet or without. There is nothing on the sides of the keyboard, but on the very rear we have a Type-C port and two USB pass-throughs. Here's a side view of the keyboard so you can get an idea of the keycap profile. Some of the keycaps do have secondary functions, and you can see that they are printed on the forward-facing side with the icons. It would have been really cool if these were shine-through or transparent, because it would make it much easier to see the different icons. This keyboard does have north-facing LEDs. Now, I'm not going to take the entire keyboard apart, but I'm going to show you from the RK site the different components and layers that go into this. One thing I wanted to mention is that while I'm sitting and looking at the keyboard, I don't really notice the screws that are holding the keyboard together, but you can see from these top-down shots, you can see a screw there as well. Something to keep in mind. The RK84 comes in at around 807 grams or 1.7 pounds. The RK84 features a 75% compact layout. There are 84 keys and they are double shot. This keyboard uses RK's yellow switches, which are supposed to be similar to the Gateron yellows. Switches are hot swappable for 3 or 5 pin switches. There's a 3750 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, and that's going to give you about 30 hours if you use RGB, or up to 200 hours without RGB. You have 3 connection modes. You can use this wired, wireless, or you can pair up to 3 devices on Bluetooth, and it uses Bluetooth 5.0. The keyboard feels really planted and there's no wobble or rattling. So if I hit the spacebar, they've done an excellent job of stabilizing it, and it sounds the same on the right side, left side, or the center. The typing experience on here is actually really enjoyable, and it kind of takes me back to my high school days when I was using the really old beige or cream colored computers, because that's kind of how these keycaps feel. And the sound is obviously a bit different, more upgraded, but it's a really familiar feel to me and I'm really enjoying it. One thing to note about the keycaps is that they're not transparent, so the RGB lighting is just on the underside of them, it does not shine through. I've cut the lights a bit just to showcase the RGB, so if you hold function and home, it cycles through different RGB modes. Now N just cycles through various preset colors, and then you can also change the intensity or the speed by using the left arrow to slow things down or the right arrow to speed things up. You can also change the brightness by using the down arrow or the up arrow. By the way, you can also check the battery level by holding function and enter, and you can see right there that I have about 100% battery life. All right, let's take a look at the RK software. So you can see here on this main tab, we can set different profiles. You can also rename them if you like, but you could have one for like gaming, productivity, streaming. You could also import or export profiles if you find some online, or if you want to share one with a friend. You can also remap keys if you're not happy with the default maps, and you can also go into macros on this other tab. Finally, you have the RGB mode or RGB tab, and you could set all of this stuff on the keyboard except one thing, which is sleep time. So on here, you can actually set it to never sleep. So that's something I haven't found a keyboard bind or keyboard command to do. Something to keep in mind. If you want that, you will have to go through the software. And then there's also an option here for custom lights. So say for example, you want WASD to be lit up, a different color than everything else, you can go ahead and do that, and you do have presets for that, or the number row, and you can also selectively pick it. So if you're playing a specific game and there's only a certain amount of keys that you use, you can just have those lit up. So overall, I think this is an excellent keyboard. It's definitely not the most premium keyboard that I've ever used or the heaviest, and I am kind of a fan of those type of keyboards, but The most important thing with any mechanical keyboard is the typing experience, and this 100% delivers, with the sound profile and just the way the keycaps are, like I said, it really takes me back to my first days on a computer, and that's something I'm always going to be fond of. If you're interested in checking out the RK84 in either the Macchiato White, which is what I have here, or the Americano Black, I'm going to leave some links down in the description below. If you found this video helpful, please consider liking and subscribing. I am going to be reviewing more mechanical keyboards in the future. And if I missed anything, please let me know and I'll do my best to get back to you. See you in the next one. Bye.